r/AskReddit. What's your favorite animated movie and why? The Emperor's New Groove. It is hilarious. The first one I ever saw was Snow White in the late 1930s. I remember thinking then, this Disney guy is going to be huge, so I'll cite that film as its significance was readily apparent and it demonstrated to me what animation was capable of. Treasure Planet. Always loved the story. Animation is killer. Iron Giant. It's a classic movie. Toy Story. Ratatouille. Finding Nemo. 3 classics. Mulan. It's wholesome and funny. And the most baddest Disney princess, not really a princess but still, of all time. Prince of Egypt. I'm not even religious. But the animation is still absolutely gorgeous after 22 years and the music is phenomenal. Princess Mononoke. Miyazaki and Studio Ghibli really know what they are doing. Probably Tangled. Frying Pans. Who knew, right? Or Wreck-It Ralph because it was a video game movie that didn't such and was actually awesome. Megamind or Into the Spider-Verse. Wreck-It Ralph. I love the whole video game aspect. It's just a fun movie. Second one was good too, but the first one is probably my favorite movie of all. Not just animated ones. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Great story and the animation is amazing. Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame. It has such a beautiful soundtrack. How to Train Your Dragon. The whole series, which consists of 3 movies, has interesting character development, a compelling story and a lot of humor. It's a tie between Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Coco. And it is hard to choose just one since I have so many favorite animated movies and movies in general. Porco Rosso. It's a neat story and it takes place in an interesting world. Any Pixar movie. But if I had to choose it would be Toy Story. Inside Out. The Lego Movie was dope. Fantasia because it's the only movie I can watch 1000 times and still be captivated. Rise of the Guardians. I don't really know why, but this is one of the movies that I would have always watched over and over again. Even now. Your Name made me nearly cry. Disney's Hercules. Hella underrated. They took Greek mythology and injected it with modern gospel music. It sounds kinda weird on paper but they pulled it off. Secret of Kells. Beautiful animation. Lovely characters. And a great story. Overall, Wall-E. For sheer and utter brilliance in the shortest amount of time. The opening of Up is simply unparalleled. The overall film is great. But that opening knocks you sideways. As for the single greatest moment. For me. It's Mrs. Incredible saving the kids. There are entire franchises with less tension and emotional depth. The moment she goes for them. Shivers every time. And the fact she's using proper. Real life terminology. Buddy spiked etc. Is the cherry on the icing on the cake of that scene for me. Cars. It's a classic. Secret of NIMH. Meet the Robinsons. Every time the bowler hat tried to mind control something I was on the floor laughing. Fantasia, 1940. Iron Giant and Titan AE. Megamind. It's all about presentation. Coco or Into the Spider-Verse. Treasure Island. Such an underrated Disney classic. Shrek. I've only seen the first 2. There are a lot of adult jokes thrown in that I enjoy and they're just funny pleasing to watch. Batman. Mask of the Phantasm. Amazing animation. Shirley Jackson's powerful score and a deep character-driven story of why Batman is who he is. Plus one of Mark Hamill's best performances as the Joker. The Prince of Egypt. It takes an old story that's been told 100 times and then tells it with a new spin on it. It's respectful both of its subject matter and viewers. And the songs are pretty damn good. How to Train Your Dragon. The whole series. Up. A beautiful, colorful tall tale about regret, moving on, and allowing love back in after loss. A movie that took actual emotional risks. And gave us 2 old men as the protagonist and antagonist. Something we don't see enough of in any genre. Not to mention that it is quite funny. I mean, this movie gave us Doug and Russell. Excellent soundtrack. Pixar animation. And those first 10 minutes. Need I say more? Disney's Sleeping Beauty. I have always loved that unique, sleek artwork that combines the classic Disney style and pre-Renaissance art. Even the backgrounds were lovingly crafted. Plus, the bad guy, or in this case, bad girl, makes the movie. The Incredibles because Mrs. Incredible. The Road to El Dorado. Super underrated. End of Evangelion. While I can appreciate how the series ended, everything about the third impact in the movie just had me speechless. Also, Com Susatod has been stuck in my head for weeks. Heavy Metal. The Jimmy Neutron movie where he saves his parents from aliens. Wall-E. The first half is captivating and creates such a rich world and set of characters, and does most of it without words. Meet the Robinsons. The family is funny and charming and the message is good. I go back to this one often. Snow White. When I was a kid, that's all I would watch at my grandparents' house. Still absolutely love that movie to this day. Kimi no Na wa Your Name, and Tenki no Ko, Weathering with You. Both had breathtaking, gorgeous animations, well-written characters, interesting plots and beautiful soundtrack. Cinderella, Mulan and Frozen are also my faves. Inside Out for the story and Lion King and Brother Bear both for making my children magical. Howl's Moving Castle. The book it's based on is brilliant and very original. Even though the film by Miyazaki differs a little in storyline, it's charming. The characters and scenery are beautifully designed. Like a lot of Ghibli movies, there's no blatantly concrete heroes and villains for most of the film, so it keeps you second guessing. I could sing this movie's praises for days. Watch it if you haven't. Captain Hook. Space Pirate. The movie had me interested in the first 10 minutes. Akira. It's got some truly wild visuals. The Secret of NIMH. It just has this amazing tone and feel to it that no other movie has been able to match for me. My neighbor Totoro is perfection. Interstellar 5555 The 5 Tori of the 5 Ekrut 5 Ta 5 Istam. Amazing music from Daft Punk. Very nice graphics and good story. Spirited Away or Shrek 2. Coco. Because it's beautiful and heartbreaking. The Thief and the Cobbler, the recobbled cut. If you have the chance, just watch it. It's the most beautiful animated movie I've ever seen. Wall-E. Even though people consider me a tough nut from outside, that movie hit me hard. I felt sad for a month even though it had a happy ending. Later knew the loneliness he felt resonated my own. As for animated series, it's Heidi. My 10-year-old brain was able to process that emotional traumatic experience. Grave of the Fireflies. Beautiful film and story. Wall-E. My mom loved that movie. And it's great. Rango. It's funny. Has great voice actors. And the animation is beautiful. Tintin movie. Or any stop motion movies, for example. Pirates in an Adventure with Scientists. Maybe Mulan. It taught me to be strong and not to give up on the first difficulties. I believe in my dreams and in myself. There are many beautiful animated movies, like Chicken Little, Zootropolis, Shrek, Lilo and Stitch, Big Hero 6, Megamind, etc. I love these types of movies that have a deep message. I'm going to say Scooby-Doo and the Boo Brothers. I really like the general tone that the movie had, having a decent mix of irons and light-hearted comedy. Fantasia. Prince of Egypt. Not only do you have a star-studded cast of amazing actors, but the animation is real. It is vivid and beautiful and most of all grand. Every scene is filled with a scale that makes you feel both small and inconsequential. Not only that, but all the animation makes you feel something. You can feel the weight of the fishnet, or platform holding bricks, or the rock cutting his foot, or the sting of the whip on his shoulder. But most of all is the soundtrack. Perfect songs that help elevate the already grand visions of Egypt, Pharaoh, and God in the war between them. Spirited Away. The Lion King. Beautiful animation that holds up even in 2020. Perfect casting. Greatest villain song ever. And an amazing story. Anastasia, 1997. IDKY, but since I was a kid this movie really amazed me. I still watch it every now and then.